Hi everyone, it is #NailedIt with me, Tova Lee.
And me, Michael Lee.
Okay, can I just say something? Because
Yes.
I was just saying, I have been a guest on some podcasts
Have
recently.
you now?
Yes, I have. I'm podcast cheating.
Yeah.
But they have scripts. I suddenly realized that I was going to do this. Like, they're so organized.
Yeah, they're actually prepared.
Yes, they have like a script for the beginning, like the beginning messages, and then like a script for the end messages of like what you should do, where you should follow, where you should subscribe.
Yes.
And I literally meant to do that, and I forgot.
Oh, what a surprise. And you couldn't prepare that.
No. As soon as I started
Never mind.
talking, I realized I didn't do it.
Never mind.
Here we are.
Yes, this is one of the last shows of the season.
Of the season, yes.
Yes.
You got a break from a season because I thought we would just carry on forever and ever and ever and ever. And then I saw your face. And
So I have
decided
a little summer break.
yeah, we'll have a summer break.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then
have a
we're
summer
going
break.
to do probably a couple more this season.
Yes, we will. We'll do a couple more this season, and then we'll have a break, and that's it. How are you?
I'm
Are
good, thank you. Not bad, a bit tired. Okay. This weather in London is just really
It's
depressing.
awful, right?
Awful,
What's
awful
happening?
weather.
It's June.
Ugh.
And there's no summer.
No.
There's no summer in sight. No. Apparently, it's nice, though, in Barcelona. Is really
Oh, great.
nice.
But I don't bloody live in Barcelona, do I? It's great. Fantastic.
Sure. I spoke to somebody yesterday in Barcelona, and she was complaining about how hot it was, and I nearly slapped her. Well, I couldn't really slap her because it was on Skype, but
Yeah.
that would be strange.
Virtual slap.
Yes, but it's annoying. It was raining today. It's the same in other places, though, of the world. You were telling me why today. Some sort
Did
of
I?
cold front that's coming from...
Well, clearly it's a cold front. I don't know where. I know nothing about meteorology really. I don't get it. All I know is it annoys me whereby it's a job where you can just lie, make things up, get it 100% wrong, and still take your monthly salary.
That is so true.
It's true,
oh
isn't
my
it?
God, you've just offended like a whole
What,
society
the meteorologists
of
out
people.
there? Yeah, I do.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Sorry,
get
if
it
there's
right. You've got millions of pounds worth of computers, this and that, and still can get it wrong.
But they get it right. They get it right.
You know, I always just say,
You know?
know whether to look out the window.
You do, but you are such a okay. I'm sorry, but when you're a big fat liar, I'm gonna say okay because Mike's the biggest fat liar right now. Every time, every morning, I'm like, "What's
I'm
the
obsessed
weather?
by the weather.
What's the weather like?" He'll go online, and I'm like, "Just look out the window. Like, why are you
you can't-
going
I'm
on a
joking.
million
You can't
websites?
just
Just
look out the window in
look out
England.
the window."
You know, it could be sunny one minute, pissing down the next. You know,
No, but then like imagine this, right? It's really great. It's literally raining. There's like a blizzard outside, and he's like, "No, but there's no chance of change of rain. They don't need coats." And I'm like, "It's literally snowing, but it says that there's no chance of rain." I'm like, "Just look out the window."
I don't know. Anyway,
Literally.
this isn't the weather edition, is it?
No, but I quite like this. We've
Yeah.
never done a weather
No,
podcast.
don't get me started. Wow. Maybe next season we'll do one on the weather.
Let's do it.
Weather of the world.
I love it. Totally love
Yeah.
it.
So what are we talking about tonight?
So I was thinking since June is Pride Month.
Right. Okay.
We
In the
should-
whole of the world?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's a global thing. Is it a
Okay.
global thing?
Already having to get Leon to look things up. Yeah, I imagine it would be. I'd imagine it would be. Yeah.
And clearly,
That's gay pride, not like prides of lions.
Yeah.
It's not like Lion Month.
Why is there other types of pride? What do you mean?
Well, pride is, you get
What
a
is
pride of
pride?
lions. So
What does that mean?
It's
What?
like a group.
What is that?
You get a group of lions. They're called a pride
Oh,
of
really?
lions.
I
So it's
had
not-
no idea.
You never knew that?
No.
So it's not Pride Month.
Somebody
as in
said to me
lion-
recently that I know
lion
that I
fans.
only have like 60% knowledge of English. Would you say that's correct?
I wouldn't say that much.
No. Oh. Okay. So yes, it's Pride Month, potentially worldwide.
Yeah.
Yes, worldwide.
Yeah.
And
Different cities do different times. So I saw
They
the
do.
news. Was it Tel Aviv a few weeks ago? I saw.
But what does that mean? I think there's events on the whole month.
Well,
right?
obviously, yeah. They're
Yeah.
not all the same day.
No.
but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I
You
don't
have a
know.
big window of a month
No.
to put your big
we
events
haven't
on.
been to any events. I feel like that I'm left out right
Well,
now.
again, come back to the weather.
In the weather.
You know.
Well,
But,
hopefully it hasn't ruined the events.
I don't know when the
we're
London
planning.
one is. Have we missed the London one?
No, that's exactly my question. When is the London
Oh,
one?
okay. Leon will look that one up.
Leon-
When is the big London Pride Parade?
Tell us. Yes. So I wanted to talk about. I'm just going to bring up the list of topics
Wow.
that I actually wanted to talk
Wow,
about.
so you have
No, I
those.
wanted to talk about Pride Month because, recently a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? There was this really awful incident, right? That happened not so far away from where we live.
What's that?
Of the two, what you know about this? The two lesbian girls.
Oh God, yes. Sorry,
who were riding a bus in London.
Very near. It's West Hampstead.
Yeah, in West Hampstead, which
is a nice area.
Yeah, but like I suppose, yeah. And
just so you don't associate any kind of violence.
And it was not more than 10 minutes away from where
they
we
worked
live,
for an airline, didn't they? They worked for an airline.
I'm not sure. And they were in their 20s riding
a
bus. And I think it was like at night. And a bunch of guys started harassing them. And eventually realized that they were a couple, and then asked them to kiss.
Yeah.
And then when they didn't, they basically beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, and they got them. They got arrested.
Yeah,
and they were kids. I mean, they were
like
kids,
late teens,
15, 16, 17.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Shocking.
I know, so shocking. And for me, like that incident, and there were a couple of other things actually recently, but that incident, other incidents, like really highlights why Pride Month is necessary. Because I have heard people like wonder, like, what's the point of it? Like, why do we have Pride Month? Like, what is the point of it?
Idiots who say that.
Yeah, no.
Really?
Okay, yeah, it's true. No, but do you know that when you say idiots, there's like a lot of idiots out there because there's enough idiots out there that think that not only Pride Month is stupid, but that actually we should have a straight month.
Well, no, that was
Did you?
That was this
I
guy's
know
far
you said
right.
It was like far right. Yes, of course.
Far right guy.
But that's a problem when
the press picked up on it.
That is a
and it
problem.
became a bigger story than it was. Don't give these people oxygen, is what I say.
Okay, but that is a problem when you say that it's just like a tiny little bunch of people. You make it like less than what it actually is. And I'll give you an example. Wasn't it only recently that a school in the UK wanted to include LGBT studies in their sexual education program, and parents stopped sending their children to school? Wasn't that literally just recently? I mean, it was a few months ago. But
those people
you know what I mean?
are religious
Are they
idiots.
also idiots?
Yes.
But you see what I mean? You just, when you say about a person that they're idiots, you take away like their accountability to whatever it is that we're talking about. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It puts it in like a little, oh, they're just idiots. Oh, they're just idiots. The world is full of idiots. Like, do you know what I mean? And I think it's important that we don't just say idiots. You can say other things, homophobics. You could say bigots. You could say you could say other words, but don't say idiots because idiots.
Go back to that particular example. And again, it was a while back. I can't remember the full details. But I think the parents complaining, was it someone in Birmingham?
Yeah.
They were, I can't remember what religion they were. Maybe they're all different kind of religions. Any kind of religion, let's face it, most world religions in their books, scripts are intolerant to homosexuality. And it was religious people that didn't want their kids taught those things.
Yeah,
you know?
But I think it's good that you said it is something that I think is across the board.
Yeah,
and
no,
it's
absolutely,
not necessarily a certain religion. In that case, it was, I think, a few Muslim families, and I think it's an area that has a lot of Muslims living there. But the idiot from the States that we were talking about recently was Christian. So, like, I don't think. I mean, maybe I think religion does play a role in this, but not necessarily a specific religion. If you know what I mean.
No, that's what she said.
Yeah, exactly. But it does actually make me think about like education, because by the way, it's not just straight month that I've heard about recently.
I
know. I'm sorry, but it's so ridiculous. Like, yeah, exactly. What do you need straight month for? But anyway, it's all in the sense of all education. Like I've heard now of people wanting to include. Sorry, I'm just diverting a little bit from LGBT. To include like other things in sexual education programs. Mm-hmm. So, for example, there are some schools in the States. And sorry, because I haven't really researched this enough to know exactly where they are. Who wanted to include topics that are like maybe less conventional than than the just the kind of like general boy meets girl. There's a penis, there's a vagina, and like that.
Okay.
They
want to modernize.
So they wanted to modernize and include other topics.
Yeah.
Some of which were LGBT, right? Transvestite. Like they wanted to be more inclusive, but also got into stuff like anal and orgies and like they wanted to be open with kids and tell them the stuff. And parents were really opposed to it. I'm just interested to hear your thoughts on that. Like they said, I can tell you what they said, or just what.
Well, I don't know. I'm guessing. I'll take my. I would, because I'm British and can't get embarrassed by certain things. One could argue as a parent, I'd be embarrassed to talk about certain things, probably because maybe it's a subject I know nothing about personally. Don't know enough information about it. So if you say go and tell the kids about this or whatever, just the old-fashioned birds and the bees type thing, you'd kind of surely be pleased that a school, educators, properly trained educators, are taking the initiative to educate your children about these things, whether they grow up to be into those things or not, just to be aware of the different things out there that people may do. I don't see that as a negative thing.
Right.
And I'm keeping religion out of this because if you're religious and you go, no, but it says there that this is the point, all right, I don't agree with that, but you have to sort of not respect their views, but just accept that that's where they're coming from and they were taught this and therefore they want to teach this to their children.
Right.
But I think just in general, if it's not a religious thing, whatever the specific things you're referring to there, why wouldn't you want your teachers who are paid to teach and to educate kids about anything?
Yeah.
Anything that's out there.
Yeah.
Because again, because of now, the internet and, the internet, if you're millennial, the internet has been completely part of your life since you've been growing up. There's access to anything you want there.
Yeah.
So you might be inquisitive, you could look things up yourself, but you can't assume that all people will do that. And you need educators to go, people do this, people believe in this, this is what happens, and explain it. So when you are older, you can hopefully make your own judgment on things.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of topics here. Like there's a lot of things. I think when it came to the LGBT, the parents who were opposed, they just don't want to know. Like they want to be.
What do you mean don't know? Just bury
They
their
don't
head
want
in
to
the
know.
sand?
Yes, they want to be in denial. It's a community that they do not accept. Right? So
Right.
they don't want anybody to talk about it. It's not that they're saying we'd like to talk to our own children about this topic
Right.
at home and explain it under our terms and our conditions. It's not what they're saying. They just don't want their children to know because as far as them, it doesn't exist.
But then children will find out otherwise.
Of course they will. It's ridiculous.
Unless you're really, really
sorry,
closeted.
I'm not being rude, but
unless you live,
yeah.
in a really small village and maybe a very, very religious village, and you don't have the internet. I mean, a lot of religious people, especially the Jewish religion, if you're ultra orthodox, you're not allowed.
Wait,
the
but
internet.
this
you're not
is
allowed.
One of the things that I have an issue with when it comes to education, when people don't want to talk about certain things, that I think that when I really do think that the only way to fight ignorance in general is with education. Like it has to, that's, and and I think that ignorance does lead to hate as well. So I'm thinking there's a lot of misconceptions, right? When it comes to, for example, the LGBT community, because of lack of knowledge and lack of education.
Yeah.
It is shocking to me to even say this, and I know that a lot of people out there who are maybe like me and like you, who are we're not conservative and we're not religious and we're not whatever, would find this hard to believe, but believe me, that there are still people out there who think you can become gay.
Well, but look,
that somebody could make you gay. Wait, just by being next to gay people or just by talking about it, I don't know, you could actually catch it like some sort of disease.
But there's entire countries in the Middle East, Africa, where, and obviously there was the famous one in, begins with B, not Bahrain. Oh God, I've forgotten the country now. Where it is illegal. It's illegal. That's just extraordinary. That's it. It is punishable.
Wait, there's many countries.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's not. So you're talking about education.
Yeah.
You've got whole countries that will not educate.
Yeah, but my point is that when people have like those such misconceptions about it, so they will say, the reasons they say I don't want to include this, I don't want to talk about it at school is because it's very confusing for children, and both of us know that's not true because we have very young kids. Our daughters are 8 and 6, and they totally know that you can have like same-sex couples. It is not confusing to them one bit in the slightest. It's not even remotely like, why would it be confusing? Like, it's not confusing.
It's just how you explain
And so that's one thing. And then the second thing is, like I said, fear. People are scared. They are scared of I don't know, of, like I said, like catching something, like it's some sort of illness, and that that if you talk to their children at a too young age, it would affect their minds. Like there's some sort of probability of that happening. And that is why I think Pride Month is so important. Because that's exactly why it's needed, and that's exactly why it needs to be at the front. And that's one thing about education. And just going back to education, so going away from LGBT, but the other argument is about like including other things in the sexual program, which is not because education program. Yeah, it's not because we're burying our heads in the sand. Well, a little bit, but also the argument is we want to talk to our kids on our terms and explain to them the stuff that, like we said, I don't know, anal or orgies, whatever. And I'm thinking that is bullshit. And I'll tell you why. Most parents don't even get to the sort of like standard sex talk with their kids till it's far too late. Now, most of our children, maybe you don't even understand that, are going to watch porn before they're 12. Like, that is the reality of this world. It really is. Now, you can say it's sad, you can but who cares? It is the reality of the world, right? Personally, and this isn't because I'm a mom of girls, by the way, because I would feel exactly the same if I had boys. I would rather get in there. They're going to see the porn, right? There's no way to prevent that, by the way. But I would much rather get in there before they have like some sort of conception about it, and get in there with whatever messages I feel like they should have or need to have before, including about porn. Do you know what I mean? Because when a young child, a teenager, teenager, pre-teenager, whenever it happens, like starts finding out about sex, and that's where they're getting their information, then that is what distorts them, in my opinion.
But weren't kids getting that information 30, 40 years ago? No. I mean, yes, they were. In my generation, it was dirty mags at the top shelf of newsagents that you found in a bush in a hedge somewhere. They'd be VHS videos. You go around to a mate's house, age 12. Look what I've got. And me and my mates, we used to dub over porn movies with our own voices.
Amazing.
Yeah, we've got them somewhere.
Oh God, you have to show them.
I don't know. I don't know. A friend might have it. And we used to get a microphone and dub silly voices over them.
Hilarious.
And that was my education. There we are.
Yeah, no, but I think, okay, you're right. But I think today there's much more access.
Yeah,
it starts in an early age as well. And also, if we're being really honest, I think porn has changed a lot since when you were 16, with all due respect,
Yes.
I do. I feel like when young girls at the age of 13 or 14 are asked to, do some stuff that I don't want to even like say it. Porn has changed, true. World has changed. We got to change with it. And I feel like parents need to change, that we have to step it up. Like, you can't just stay behind and sort of go, well, in my days, it doesn't apply anymore.
But what do you do when most parents won't and don't?
So that's my point. So I respect and understand that a lot of people find it really hard to talk to their kids about these topics because it's tricky. It can be tricky, okay? But that's why I'm saying, if schools are happy to take that as part of their responsibility, as I think it needs to be everybody's responsibility, right? But if the schools want to do that, then I think great. That's fantastic, that is great. That's a great starting point, But obviously not everybody feels that way. And I actually have to say that, in my opinion, education and changing like the way we look at education is key for a lot of things. We had this whole conversation this morning. I know it's a totally different topic, but we talked about it with regards to the Me Too movement, right?
Oh, right, yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'll fill you in on what the conversation was. My sister is actually doing this thing for her master's. Is it a master's or I can't remember. I think so. And one of the topics is the Me Too movement. And she was like talking to me if I thought that it had a good impact, a negative impact, and she was bringing up all these reasons why she thought it was a good impact, like that companies have changed a lot of their internal rules, and there's much more awareness. People lost their jobs and were held accountable for their behaviors and all that. And I said that I think that short term it was a good impact, but long term it was bad, because in my mind everything that happened as a result of the Me Too movement was like a plaster that you stick on something. The real change needs to come from education, from the ground up. And that didn't happen.
Well, it hasn't yet. I mean, the Me Too movement was only, 2017?
Well,
so it was only about a year and a half ago.
No, that's not a year and a half ago. That'll be nearly 2-3 years.
October
soon?
2017.
Yeah, and my point is, but where is the initiative? I don't see that happening. People are arguing about so many things, but really, what needed to happen, I think, okay, maybe it will still happen. But what needs to happen is that schools, these programs needs to come into the school. We need to educate kids from a very early age, like I said, about LGBT and also about rights, how to treat each other, right?
Just
Equality,
basically,
respect. And then maybe we won't have these problems. Because at the end of the day, for somebody who, for example, let's say there's somebody, a man who, has suddenly been told you can't compliment your colleague at work for wearing a nice blouse. I don't think that's taught him anything.
Right.
It's not taught him anything. It's not he does. Do you get what I'm saying? I actually think that a lot of men walked away from the Me Too quite frustrated, and
Why?
because I think
What? Because they couldn't get away with things
no,
anymore? What do you mean?
no, not that. It's not. I'm not talking about that. But I'm just talking frustrated that it's oh, I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't do this, but nothing really.
But that's an educational thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't call you love anymore. I can't give you a little friendly smack on the arse. We're work colleagues. It's only a bit of a joke.
That
goes back to ignorance and education.
Yeah, but
surely.
I think some companies, for example, took the time to actually not just place these rules in places, but actually put the workers, the employees through seminars.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's great.
Yes.
But for me personally, I feel where we really need to start is with our children.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
I agree, but these things take time. I mean, I was just looking up earlier about the Me Too thing. You mentioned about how it worked in the workplace. Obviously, it all started in the film business with the whole Hollywood thing, and that's where it came from. But it then spread with, you can't get away with this crap anymore. Media industry, fashion, churches, some pastors were done. Education, some professors got done. Finance, some top brokers got pulled up for their behaviour. Politics, sports, music, famously with R. Kelly, obviously. The military, this here's a stat for you that's going to shock you. I couldn't believe this, and I need to get it verified. The military, 15,000 members of the US military reported sexual assault in 2016. 15,000 in 2016. Only 1 in 3 is... Sorry, 15,000 have been sexually assaulted, but only 1 in 3 report it, and loads of other industries as well. Then countries, we just think about the US and the UK, it's pretty much every single country had stories and campaigns and Me Too through social media. That to me is a real global movement.
Yeah.
I think it's done extremely well. And I think you saying it's just like a band-aid on it, I get that, but at least that's a great start to something which was just clearly going on day by day in the workplace, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it that way. We could argue about it. It's not really the topic of today, but
we were just talking about it.
Yeah, no, I know.
What?
It's not the main topic.
But we were just talking about Me Too for the last 15 minutes?
We branched out.
Okay.
We branched out. Anything else you want to talk about? Global heating?
Not really. I want to go back to weather.
Exactly. Okay, but anyway, back to Pride.
Yes.
Right? We're big supporters, basically.
When is the London one? Do you know
do we, yeah?
So I found.
I feel like now we have to go, by the way.
Yeah, I found where it is. It's really ages to find it.
I know it goes through
right.
Soho down to.
Yeah.
I thought there'd be like events throughout.
No, there's
the
small
month, right?
events, but there's
So
the big,
when's the big event?
march.
So it says that it starts at Portland Place.
Portland Place, the
Place,
West
yeah.
End, yes.
Down to Oxford
Oxford
Yeah.
Circus,
Regent Street, Piccadilly.
But when?
Regent Street, Piccadilly,
Lower Regent Street, Pall Mall.
Down the Mall.
Yeah,
Oh,
Pall
great.
Mall. Yeah.
And
Nice.
then Trafalgar Square finishing at
Ah,
Whitehall.
Trafalgar
on
Square.
6th of July.
6th of July.
Oh,
there we are.
great! So I haven't missed it.
No, okay.
Awesome. Do I need to buy tickets?
No,
You just show up?
I'm sure you just show
Oh
up.
my God,
It's a march
that's
in the streets.
amazing. Okay, I'm going.
With
Okay.
regard to the other, where
Yeah.
homosexuality is illegal, there's
Yeah.
there's two.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
there's so many. Right.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Oh,
I know.
I know.
Exactly.
I mean, this colours.
Wow.
Wow, look at that.
Wow, you should see. But basically, Leon's showing us like the whole world, and like it's divided into colors, and there's a lot of
So the
places
red-
that it's not legal.
Yeah, the darker it is, the worse the penalty is. So the black ones, they carry the death sentence.
Yeah, I'm sorry
Wow.
for the death
And
sentence.
there's
Yeah,
like 5 I can see.
yeah. No,
Wow. Yeah, no, but I'm telling you, it's shocking. For me, it's shocking. And you know that recently, I don't know why, like I'm becoming this super serious person. It's just like, doesn't actually know anything, but is really, really opinionated, which is so awful, by the way. I heard Piers Morgan, is that his name? I heard him say the other day how he gave advice to, sorry, by the way, Piers, but like I really did hear him say it. I don't know if like his mic was still on at the end of a show. Anyway, and he said that he told his kids that they should always have an opinion. Even when they don't have an opinion, they should have an opinion. Like they should say an opinion even when they know nothing about a topic. He literally said that. He literally said that. It kind of
But he made
explains
his entire TV career.
it explains
with
a
the
lot
crap
about
coming
him,
out of
right?
his mouth.
But yeah. So anyway, but my point is that even with LGBT, I don't know if I mentioned this before because I mentioned it about the abortion video. But again, with because I did an LGBT video for Pride, and again, I was in shock.
How many followers did you lose?
Again, loads, but like also the comments, only God can forgive you. And I'm like, what are you on? Like, what are you taking? Sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I really do respect like people who have faith. I think it's amazing, but live your life. Just live your life,
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So anyway, happy Pride to everybody and anybody
Pride
who is
Month
celebrating
around the world.
and we'll
And let us know where
Yeah.
you live and where your events are, and can you publicise on where these things are on your
Yes,
page?
I will indeed. Wait, but before we go, I keep forgetting to do this.
Oh, you're
I have a
right.
show. I have a show, people. I'm so bad at plugging my
Yeah,
stuff,
awful,
right? Awful. No, but seriously, if you are in London or anywhere in the UK, in fact, and quite easily can get to London, I have a show on the 27th of June.
What day is that?
It is a Thursday.
Thursday night.
Yeah, it is in Northwest London, and it's going to be hopefully a really good night. I have some special guests.
Mm-hmm.
I have Rena, the unnatural woman, and Jess, one fat funny one, doing a bit, and there's loads of surprises. And we're basically doing confessions.
Nice.
There'll be prizes, giveaways.
It'd be lovely to see you.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
To meet some
It'll
of you.
be lovely to meet people in person.
Where do people go and get tickets?
Are you coming, by the way?
Of course I'm coming.
You better.
how do we get
They
tickets?
can get tickets on my website, tovally.com.
Okay, or from the venue, which is called JW3.
W3.
And
Yeah.
it's very near train stations, bus stations, tube stations, easy to get to.
Yeah.
What date? 27th?
The 27th.
27th, it starts at 8 p.m. and get your tickets.
Wait, does it start at 8 p.m.? I'm not
think
quite
it
sure.
says
about
8 p.m.,
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yes. So
There's
come.
a bar there as well.
Come and see us.
Food available.
No food available.
Because there's food available. There's a cafe downstairs.
Okay, but it's not like part of the event.
Well, I think it's important to people who may be coming from work, who might be a bit peckish. It's very important to me to know that I can get
It's
some kind of
always about the
sandwich
food.
and a glass of
Oh
wine.
my God. Okay, you guys,
Could be
we'll
the deal
see you
breaker.
soon.
No, I'd like
okay?
to continue about
Oh,
all
sure.
that. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.